It's time for an unboxing, but just not any unboxing, no. I've got mutants, I've got ghosts, and I have a little bit of MCU spec. Do you want to see what I'm talking about? Stick around. Hello out there, all my friends in YouTube land. It is your good buddy Philtastic Phil here, and I want to welcome you back to my channel. As I said, I've got an unboxing here for you today. It's one I've been trying to do for about 2 weeks now. And it's just things have gotten very, very busy outside of my comic book collecting hobby, of course. I did try to shoot it this weekend. I brought all my stuff actually to my in-laws' house. My idea was let me film this with my brother-in-law. Yeah, we had some lemon chow. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but if you haven't had that, it's a delicious take on pizza, Turkish pizza, I guess you could say. But he thinks unboxings are kind of silly. He's not a comic book fan, so he didn't want to do that. I was going to try to do it with my wife. She's a little bit of camera shy. So here you are. It's just you and I again in the comic book room / office / basement room. But before I get to show you what I have, I'm going to show you the comic of the video. And that one is New Mutants Number 18. Now I know what you're saying. This is a relatively new book that didn't come out too long ago. You're right. This is probably came out at the beginning of the summer, if not a little bit earlier. It's pre-Hellfire Gala. And just as a reminder, the point of these videos, these comics of the video, is to show you a comic that you can go out to your LCS and probably pick right off the shelf without little effort. And, it's not jumped up to any kind of crazy levels. You could probably get this one for cover or less in some cases. Nonetheless, New Mutants is one of my favorite of the Hickman X-Men titles. I know a lot of people have been hating on this, and I don't understand why. I think the writing from Vita Ayala, probably ruined her name too, is really tremendous. And I say that because, in my opinion, I think it's easy to take the best of the X-Men characters, and look, they have so many iconic characters: Cyclops, Wolverine, Rogue, Storm, you name it. You've seen a team that has, if not one or two of them, but all of them on it. It's easy to take a team of all these heavy hitters and make a good story. New Mutants, you're dealing with a lot of, I would say, B or even C level heroes. You're not dealing with your top level X-Men here. No, you're dealing with the B and C team. That being said, the stories that come out of this book are phenomenal. The artwork is great. I mean, look, they've made Warpath interesting. That's right, Warpath. His biggest contribution up until this point, really, in X-Men lore, at least in my opinion, has been, oh yeah, his brother was one of the giant-sized X-Men who died like 2 issues after he was introduced. Now, and Warpath is not a character, I think, who's really been explored too heavily. He was kind of got some attention, I think, at the end of the first X-Force series. And I know that Ed Brubaker tried to do some things with him during his run, which in my opinion is a little underrated. That's a whole other story. But still, nothing really ever came out of it. Warpath, in this book in particular, has been great. Artwork. Let's talk about the artwork. First of all, this cover is great. I love this. I think that's by Christian Ward, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not familiar with a lot of Christian Ward stuff off the top of my head. I'm going to have to look him up. Inside of it, Rod Rice has been doing work that's very similar, in my opinion, to Bill Sienkiewicz and Mike Del Mundo, my favorite artist, which, by the way, we did a video on not too long ago. If you haven't checked that out, I encourage you to do so. I'll put a description, I'll put a link to that either in the description of this video, or I'll put a box somewhere, somewhere you can easily find it. Again, that's New Mutants number 18. I highly encourage you to pick up this series. Not only do they make characters like Warpath, Doc, and Honey Badger. I don't know if they're still calling her Honey Badger. It's the clone of X-23, so it's a clone of a clone of a clone. A clone of a clone. I don't know how that works. That's some multiplicity stuff. Anyway, check it out. You're not going to be disappointed. So let's go on to the unboxing. So the first one is a big box from Unknown Comics. And I say unknown because it's like, okay, when is my shipment getting here? I don't know. I'm joking. This one, to be honest with you, I've had, I think, since the beginning of July. Just waiting for the opportunity to open it. Actually, no, it's probably not that long. I know that it was delayed because one of the issues were damaged. And I appreciate them taking the time, of course, to... Oh, I hate packing peanuts. I hate those. Anyway, I do appreciate them taking the time to get a new shipment in, I guess you could say. This is going to be a mess. There's no way around it. Do have an order from Unknown Comics, speaking of unknown, that I made out in February. This is early September now that we're in. It still hasn't gotten here yet. I give them a little bit of leeway because it's a CGC comic. I know they said the first one was damaged and they had to send a new one out to the artist in Hawaii to have signed. And then it's in CGC Mojo Mayhem or whatever. I don't know if that's a word what I just said, but anyway, it'll get here when it gets here. So, Unknown Comics. Now this is a variant that came out a little while ago. It's one that I missed, but still a good one nonetheless. X-Men Gold, and this was the wedding issue, the Kitty Pryde Colossus wedding. I'm not going to spoil that story for you if you don't know what it is already. And this I got because, to be honest with you, there was a sale going on, and it was one of those get this and you get these free. So I had a free one coming, and this was my pick. Okay, next. And again, this is one I just got for the cover. Strange Academy number 11 with Scarlet Witch and Magik. Cool cover. Not much more to say with that. I haven't been reading Strange Academy again. It was a sale, so I went for it. Unknown Comics had a series of really, really cool variants for the Hellfire Gala from Dan Nakamura. I can never say his name right, and I do apologize if he sees that, or if anybody's yelling at their TV or device now saying, that's not how you say it, it's like this. Anyway, I like these because Hellfire Gala is supposed to be, of course, a very kind of red carpet type of affair, and I like that they made these kind of look like an issue of Vanity Fair. So I'm going to go ahead and show these off. This nice White Queen. Here is Jean Grey, X-Force. Here's the Rogue cover. And I do like that they did go to the extent of trying to make it like a magazine cover, including all the bylines and whatnot. Here's the Betsy Braddock Captain Britain. And you know, it's kind of strange. I know that the recent issue of Excalibur was my comic of the video last time, but I feel like since then, Excalibur, and I've only read 2 issues after that, has gotten pretty good, which was surprising because that was on the bottom of my X-Men list. But we'll see how it sustains. Again, I'm a couple months behind, so I might be in for a big disappointment. Don't spoil it, of course, if I'm wrong. We've got Hellions number 12. Here is the Psylocke Koana, whatever you want to call her, cover. This was a non-Hellfire Gala variant I picked up. Women of Marvel number 1, the Rogue cover. Yes, I like Rogue. I like the X-Men. Here's the one that I believe was damaged, and I'm happy that they were able to put this in, able to get a better copy, because this actually came out, I think, the best of these covers that I've seen, at least so far. This is the X-Corp number 2 cover with, I believe that's M, as she was known from Generation X, the first volume, that is. And she did a great job, I think, in that second, I shouldn't say she did a great job. Peter David did a great job with her in the second volume of X Factor, in my opinion. Here is Planet Size X-Men. Very cool Storm variant. I definitely have to put a scan up for that one. And this is New Mutants number 19 with Magik. X Factor number 10. I've been doing a very good job at staying away from spoilers, but I do know what happens at the end. And here's X Factor number 10 with Polaris. I think, was that the big issue that everybody was running for? I don't know. Way of X number 3. And I believe that's Pixie. And here is Wolverine number 13 with Jubilee. And finally, Sword number 6. This is... I don't know who this one is. Oh no. They're going to take my X-Men fan card away. This next one is from Random Stacks. This is my first purchase from Random Stacks, but this is a variant that I saw Comic Tom, who is, if you don't know, a YouTuber I check out from time to time. I saw him gushing over. I was like, that is a really nice cover. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger. Relatively inexpensive. They've got their business card on the cover, which I'll put aside because I do want to check them out again. That's randomstacks.com. Not sponsored, just telling you where I got it from. And this is Spirit of Vengeance number 1. Very, very cool cover. Very nicely done. I think this is an Ashley Winter cover. I'll double check that, and I'll of course put I'll put a caption up once I know. And I did get the Virgin variant of that. No words or whatnot on there. Very, very cool. Before I go to the last unboxing of the evening, I do have something really cool I got. This is an AOK. I went to my LCS Tuesday night before they closed. Saw my buddy Sean over at Fat Moose Comics in Whippany, and Whippany, New Jersey, if you're in the area. And another Fat Moose customer, Gene Cahill, was there, and Gene had a stack of posters from a drawing he made back in, I'm looking at the date on it, 1977, before I was born. And he said, "Oh, Phil, can I interest you in one of these posters? I drew a Star Wars poster a couple years ago." Now, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I appreciate it. It's just not my thing. So I was going to turn it down, to be honest with you, because my whole thing is, well, if I don't like it, I'd rather that somebody who can appreciate it gets it. But I took one look at the actual artwork on it, and I have to say I was so impressed I had to grab it. And I'm really thankful to Gene for giving me one of these. I'm going to put a nicer picture up, I think. But look at this. Pretty much on point. Really just beautifully done. And just simply amazing. This is something that you could tell he poured a lot of time into, and I just appreciate it so much. Great, great, clean drawing. That's professional level. I'm not sure if Gene is a professional artist, but he should be, based on this drawing, in my opinion, of course. Okay, time for the final box of the evening. This is my most recent eBay purchase. I've been looking for one of these for a while, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is solely out of SPEC. I do collect Avengers. I'm not going crazy collecting Avengers comics, of course. I don't go too far back, but if I see a deal, or if there's something I think I see that's going to happen, I try to go for it. And this is something I actually thought was going to happen sooner. It's been on my radar since the Age of Ultron film. Vision had been pretty much the voice in Tony Stark's armor, in his helmet, voiced by actor Paul Bettany. After Vision became sentient, although Tony Stark never uttered her name, if you looked on the screen, on his HUD screen, you saw one name. Wow, this guy did a great packing job. Anyway, if you looked on Iron Man's HUD after Vision left, and it was a female voice, you saw the words Jocasta pop up. So my thought was, oh, wow, so they're going to be building towards Jocasta. Now, if you've seen Endgame, you'll know that we never, unfortunately, got to see that. However, one of the big projects coming up is Disney Plus's Armor Wars series, and they've already said you're going to see Riri in that. You're going to see War Machine, of course. That's one of his big things. My guess, by the way, totally off topic, I think that might be a good place for them to bring in Doctor Doom. If you recall, he kind of took over for Iron Man after Civil War 2, which I think was another underrated book, by the way. That whole Doctor Doom, I think it was the Invincible Iron Man or the Infamous Iron Man, that was it, Infamous. Anyway, I think it's high time that they bring in the character who first appears in this book, Miss Jocasta. This isn't a great copy. It's not one I would get CGC graded or whatnot. There is some discoloration here. Pages are actually they're definitely not white. I wouldn't call them yellow, though. I don't know how to say that. There are some things that certainly could be pressed out, but you do have a lot of color breaking as well. But this was just a cheap copy for me to get for the collection. And whenever I do buy something off of eBay, which is not very common, it's not usually my first place to go. I do always see if the seller has anything else that interests me, only because I figure, look, if I'm going to pay for shipping, at least let me make it worth my while. And he had this one, another copy of Avengers, number 260, and that is the first appearance of Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, that's my video for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Go ahead and tell me how you feel about it. Tell me, did you like my pick of the week? Did you like some of these variants, or even that Jocasta appearance or Nebula first appearance I picked up? Like I said, I'm specking on that Jocasta appearance. I paid next to nothing for the book. If it happens, great. If not, oh well. It's still a really cool book, in my opinion, at least, to have in your collection. And again, special thanks to Gene Cahill for that great Star Wars poster. Really immense talent behind it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that they have copies of that poster at Fat Moose Comics. I would say give them a call if you'd like one and see if they have them. And Fat Moose, again, in April is going to be celebrating their 40th anniversary. I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm just sharing a really cool shop with you and some really good happenings and books, of course, in the area. Thank you again for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. And as always, peace, love, and comics. Take care.